Lee Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Stringer. It is indeed a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. I'd like to thank, firstly, my honourable friend, member for Don Valley, for bringing this to the chamber today. I'd also like to thank the petitioners, the three dads over there, Andy, Tim and Mike, who are doing a fantastic job. I'd also like to thank my good friend, Graham Lynk, who sat over there, who lost his son, Sean, to suicide in December last year. Graham's a brave man. He's a hard man. He's a gentleman. He's an ex-coal miner, same as myself. We've done many a shift down the pit together. One of the bravest men I've ever come across in my life. But this, the loss of his son, has broken him. Sean Lynk was a brilliant young man. He was 30 years old when he took his life. He was a big, strong, confident, good-looking lad. Handsome man, had his mother's looks, and his mother's brains, I think, Graham. But he was a lovely young man, and when he walked into a room, he lit the room up. Everybody wanted to be around Sean. Everybody liked Sean. We all loved Sean, and I was just drinking with him just a week in the Doghouse pub, a week before he took his own life. Never saw it coming. He was such a lovely young man. His death shocked the whole community and left many of us asking questions, why? We'd sit with him on a weekend, I would, with his mum and dad, swapping old stories about our mining days, and Sean would be sat there laughing and giggling with us, and you would never know that he must have been in pain. He must have been in pain, Sean. Like I say, on the face of it, a happy man, good footballer, loved his sports, loved his family, loved his friends, always surrounded himself with great loving people. There were no signs there, but something must have been wrong. But Sean's dad, Graham, believes that Sean was using the dark web. He was looking at things that probably he should not have looked at. He was looking at things and tapping into this dark, horrible web, which was giving him dark thoughts. But who knows? The police have still got Sean's phone, so we're yet to get to the bottom of that. Now, I know the internet can be a dangerous place, and it can target people with the algorithms and do some horrible stuff and target vulnerable people. But I'm glad to see the online harm bill is going some way to address that. But I think we need to go further. And I will say a big thanks to all these charities and support groups that's around, that's helping young people with these dark thoughts. In my own patch, we have a charity called Enlighten the Shadows. This was set up by a young man called Rory Green, who had some dark thoughts himself. He lost his baby. His partner lost his baby through a miscarriage. He felt hopeless. He felt worthless. He felt like ending it all. And he was in a really bad, dark and horrible place. But he got through it. And he set up a support group online through Facebook and social media and a website. And he was absolutely astounded by the amount of young men that was contacting him, who'd had dark thoughts, suicidal thoughts. So he reached out. He got some other people on board. They talked to men on a regular basis. And he tells me that they've probably saved about 100 lives so far. And this is by just men talking to men. I know it's a big problem with young ladies as well, young girls, schoolgirls. But the vast majority of suicides that I've come across are young men. And there's no rhyme nor reason for it. But, keeping quiet is not an option. You've got to talk about this. And it's all well and good telling people they must talk, but they have to have somebody to talk to. And at the moment, it can be very difficult from some of the poorer families in the more deprived areas, because a lot come from broken families, etc. So they've not always got that great family support and people to talk to. But make no mistake, this is an epidemic, but it's not a means-tested epidemic. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, successful or unsuccessful, whether you come from a council estate or a country estate. This goes for anybody. This can affect anybody in all walks of life. So, big shout out for Rory and his group for doing this sort of great work. But what I will say is that probably everybody in this room has been affected by suicide. If you go back far, I know my family's been affected, and but like I say, we don't talk about it. I travelled down with Graham this morning, and we had a long conversation. And what probably as MPs don't see is, you know, inside our friends' heads, their minds, and what goes off. Graham goes to bed every night. He thinks about his son, and he thinks about his son with a rope around his neck, and that's what goes through his mind. And I can't get my head around that. For a man to watch a little boy from a baby grow up, be his pride and joy, and to take his life in that way, and Graham feels broken. He probably feels guilty, and he feels hopeless. But I'm here to tell Graham today that he's none of those things. He's not guilty, and he's not hopeless, because Graham's working with this charity, and he's going to raise thousands of pounds for the Enlighten the Shadows suicide charity. He's going to cycle 1,000 miles in 10 days. He's doing some running as well. He's got the support of the whole community, and Graham wholeheartedly supports the idea of putting this on the school curriculum, and helping people and getting people to talk, to save some lives. So I guess what I'd say to the Minister, Mr Stringer, is please look at these families over here. These are broken people. And we need to see less of these families coming to this place. We need to intervene. We need to get this on the school curriculum, and we need to save lives. Thank you, Mr Chairman.
Rachel Muscombe.